I have a link down below for Robinhood and a link for Coinbase. So get some free crypto, get some free Robinhood. What's going on YouTube? Taylor Prentice back here with another video. In this video, I'm just going to be talking about what I'm doing in the stock market right now. So it's been a little crazy the past couple months, and I want to give you guys some insight on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So let's get into it. So this might sound kind of boring, but I'm really just kind of holding stocks right now and just kind of wait to see what the market does. Obviously, the past couple months, we've been way down on stocks due to like the Russia-Ukraine conflict and Fed rate hikes, and just a bunch of bad news was kind of baked into the stock market. And it didn't really seem like there was any more bad news that could come out, and I think we're finally starting to see the light. But during this past couple months, I've pretty much bought as much stocks or as many stocks as I could. My cash position is about the lowest it's ever been. I like to keep it around 10% of my portfolio, and I'm way below that. So right now, even though there are still some stocks that I think are really good deals, I'm pretty much just holding off to build my cash position back up in case things do go back down, in case like the Russia-Ukraine situation gets worse and say the US like really needs some sort of commodity from Russia. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled for that and just preparing for another big drop. And right now I'm just kind of liking seeing my stocks go up, which has been kind of rare for the past couple months. But like I said, things are finally starting to turn around, in my opinion. I think things will continue to go up. I might grab some shares here and there, but my cash position is so small that I really think it's just the smartest thing to do for me right now is to just build that out a little. Once things kind of stabilize, maybe get back into buying some stocks, especially if like a Tattooed Chef stays at like $12.25. I'm going to keep buying it, even though with any real price appreciation, it'll pass Facebook and be my biggest position. I think that is something that might just happen, and I am pretty okay with it, especially going off of Facebook or Meta's last earnings reports, which, talking and kind of transitioning to how it's doing, it's finally starting to recover a little bit. It's still in the trenches. If you look, it's down like $150 from the all-time high, which was like back in last August, I think. So it's pretty beaten up still. I might add another share of that, even if it's at like 230. Usually it's more volatile than the rest of the stocks I own. So that's another one that I would probably wait on to drop before I were to buy like any other shares, even though I think 230 in the long term is just really, really low for that stock price. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it dropped down to like 210 or 215 for a day here soon, because that's just kind of how Facebook always does things. It drops pretty substantially and then recovers a little more, and then kind of is just in that cycle. Obviously, the bad earnings report kind of threw a wrench in there, but I think as things develop, I think throughout this year, they'll be able to recover their stock price and get back to all-time highs. Maybe not by the end of this year, but starting like 2023, I think we'll start to see the appreciation of that stock rise back above where it was in August. So like I said, Facebook has recovered pretty well, and other tech stocks have done really well. If you look at the NASDAQ and the S&P, actually, since like March 14th, they've both recovered really well. So yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of along for the ride here, just keeping my eyes peeled for things that I think are really good deals. Like there are some days where Corsair drops to like below $21. Pretty much anytime it's below 21, I'm trying to kind of grab some shares there. BRKB has been like my strongest position. That thing has been in beast mode. I actually thought about selling like a couple shares of it, and then I was like, nah, I probably shouldn't just hold on to that sucker forever. It is kind of my big diversity in my stock portfolio, because I really only have like 10 stocks. I would actually really only like to have like 7 stocks. There's a couple positions I don't want to sell out of, but there's a couple of positions I'm not actively buying in either. I'm just kind of holding on to those for a long time. So I'm obviously like still kind of keeping in check with what's going on with those companies, but it's not something I'm like seriously throwing money into or like feeling like I have to get money into pretty urgently. Like a Tattooed Chef is something where it's like, when will it take off? And then like the same thing with Farfetch. So Farfetch has been so beat down. It went from like $60 down to like, I think like 12. I've been buying it and it's recovered really nicely. I think it's at like 17 today. I wish I could have picked up more shares while it was down, but like I said, that was kind of an issue I ran into where my cash position was just really low because I was buying so much other stuff. But I think in the long term, either way, I'll be happy that I was just buying stuff when we had that big drop, because I feel like a lot of people were kind of scared to buy. So, you know, they always say, like, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. I was definitely being pretty greedy, and it got me into a situation where I probably could have made more money in the short term if I would have just funneled some of that money into Farfetch. But we'll see how it ends up panning out for me anyways. And the last thing I really wanted to touch on was cannabis, the cannabis sector. So obviously, if you guys are paying attention to the news, you saw that the House passed a bill to decriminalize marijuana in all 50 states, like Fed decriminalization. But it's probably not going to get through the Senate. I would be amazed if we got through the Senate. And that news hasn't really affected, like I own Planet 13, like a very small portion. And I'm down pretty huge on that position, but that's something I'm just going to hold forever. I think long term, there's no way that they don't succeed. Chris Wren is just a really smart guy. He's someone I'd love to meet someday. So Planet 13 is something I'm really bullish on. It's just a position that I'm not really adding at the moment. It seems like no good news in that sector can really move the stock price at all. And it seems like Fed legalization like kind of has to happen for these stocks to start to go beast mode, which I think Planet 13, as far as American public traded companies, is going to be in the best position out of all marijuana related companies. Obviously, like if Cookies or something like that went public, be a game changer. I think Cookies is by far like the most successful brand in cannabis, and I think they will continue to be, but they're not public, so it's kind of hard to see like what numbers they're doing and to get into all their business. But Planet 13 is just building a beast of a brand. Like people I know that don't even use their products definitely know what it is. Like when they go to Vegas, it's pretty much just hard to avoid. And then people who I know don't use their products like still like to go in there and just look at it because it's almost like a museum for it. So they're like almost like the Cabela's of the cannabis industry, which is just cool to see. And yeah, I think they'll do really well over time, but I'm not in a place where I feel like I have to be grabbing shares really urgently right there. I think I can make my profits in other companies in the next like 3 to 5 years, and then probably transition that money into those stocks as legalization gets closer and closer, because at this point it's really inevitable. I'm not really sure what the government's plan is to just try and keep it illegal, because obviously like the majority of America is for it. So yeah, I don't know when it's coming, but I think it's gonna come. But yeah, that's pretty much a rundown of like everything that I have going on in the stock market and like what moves I'm making. But yeah, it's pretty much just me watching and holding everything. Seems like stuff could be getting exciting this year, and it seems like we are set to go back to that bull market, even if we weren't really ever like in a bear market, I guess, depending on what indice or what market you were looking at. Like if you looked at the S&P 600, I think we were technically in a bear market. We never got into like a serious bear market. I'm just really happy that I was able to acquire so many shares. And even though those haven't really appreciated yet, I think throughout this year, it's going to look really good for me at the end of 2022. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are investing in and what kind of moves you're making right now in this market. Times are kind of crazy right now, but I think we're going to be all right as long as we just buy and hold companies that we have strong convictions in and that we are actually doing our due diligence on and researching. If you're not researching, man, just go buy some S&P or go buy NASDAQ or whatever. Just if you don't have the time to really pick individual stocks, then just go get it. Index. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to let you guys know what I'm doing in the stock market and kind of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing right now. Hopefully I can get my cash position built up pretty quickly, and if stocks like all of a sudden just go to all-time highs, might start taking some profits. But most of the companies I'm invested in, even if they were at all-time highs, I'm still holding just because I'm super bullish, and I think stuff has just been way beaten down. So even if I see some really nice price appreciation in the stocks I do own, I think I'll just continue to hold those depending on like what business it is. If Farfetch got back to like $60, I would have to sell some of my Farfetch position. Sorry, Farfetch, but that would just be like quick money that I could transition into something longer term, not that I don't think Farfetch is going to be successful longer term, but if it's already back to 60, I think there are other plays for me to make money. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have made it this far, I really appreciate it. You guys should let me know what you're doing with stocks down below. Let me know what companies you're interested in, if you're buying stocks, if you're selling stocks, whatever. I'm just really interested to hear what you guys are doing. And if you need any free stocks or some free crypto, I have a link down below for Robinhood and a link for Coinbase. So get some free crypto, get some free Robinhood, get your feet in the sand, get your feet wet. I don't know what the saying is. But like I said, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.